magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future. Transformers Slag Podcast.
No, I'm just messing with you. How y'all doing this Saturday night? It's a Transformers Slag Podcast Center live stream main event. Your host, Proto Man. I'm the face that runs this place. I'm the voice here Monday to Friday. And it is a Saturday, and what a Saturday it is. We have a lot to cover. Probably one of the more busier weekends of the year. He passed out. Oh, darn right I passed out. Woo! It has been nuts. Just stacks and stacks and stacks. The hair is a mess, more so than usual. But yeah, let's talk about it. We got a lot to cover. New news dropping every moment. Cool stuff we got in the mail. Upcoming events. Everything like that. Let's jump into it like we always do. But first, who's in the chat? Who is in the chat today? Got Hornell. How you doing, my man? Good seeing you at all the cons and hope to see you more in the future. I don't know if you'll be at Toronto. Toronto's more the Canuck Con. Flatline Girl, one of my patrons. How you doing? James Hopkins, what's up, what's up? Link CW, one of my patrons. T-Formers 2002, I'll also be seeing in a few weeks. Patrick Brown, what's up? Rudy Mack, also will be seeing in a few weeks. TF Con Twins, will also be seeing in a few weeks. And I have some nice t-shirts for you from LA. Will Murphy, what's up? Who else do we got? I hope I don't miss nobody. I am so exhausted. Rudy Mack, I already saw. Who else do we see? Mateus, one of my patrons. Havoc, one of my patrons. Brainstorm, what's up, my man? Roman, how you doing? Navio. Everyone's popping in slowly. Everyone's coming in. I'll catch everybody on the flip side. Alrighty. So, we got a lot to cover. Probably have like 17 slides here. We have San Diego stuff to talk about. We got a lot of things to cover. Oh, Ninjatron. The reason why I don't see you is because you're a ninja. Actually, one of the purchases today from the lady upstairs was ninja related. We'll get into that in a moment. But yeah, so let's get into it, shall we? We got a lot to cover. You know, and it's interesting because there was a lot of people online that were not happy about some of the products that were being revealed. And I was literally like, bro, that's a problem I wish I had. Like, it's something where if you don't like that, that's great because there's 20 other things that came out that day that are probably awesome. Me, if I like everything, I'm going to be poor. If I hate everything, it's great. It's great. I don't like Taylor Swift. Thus, I don't have to get Taylor Swift tickets. Thus, I save money. That's the world we live in. If there's something you don't enjoy, think of it as money saved. So, let's start with this one, possibly double female. Judging by how the fans have been speculating on this one, I did not bother to bug my good friend Josh Perez about the identity of these because some things are better left secret. But we have two of a whole bunch of Transformers Cyberworld Energon Surge product that we did not see. That is the first time we are seeing this. Brainstorm 2002 with the $5 Super Chat, currently on vacay in Boston. It took my TR Brainstorm to Bunker Hill. Hey, man, that's awesome that you're in Boston. You could go check out where the Celtics used to play, although the Boston Garden is unfortunately no longer what it used to be. I'm a big Boston Celtics fan, so pretty cool. And also one of the TFCon staffers, Larry, is also a huge Boston Bruins fan. And I remember, I want to say we were going to, because we could do so many conventions. I forget which one it was. I want to say it was HasCon. We were passing Boston and he wanted to pass the pro shop just to pick up like a jersey or something. But correct me if I'm wrong, Larry, if you're in the chat today. I don't remember which con it was. We do so many. Oh, it's crazy. But always go to a convention. It's so fun. But thank you for the $5 Super Chat, Brainstorm. Hopefully you are having a good time in Boston. Yeah. So then, we have our first look at the Autobot Ratchet armored cyber changer, and technically the first look at this redeco of Arachnid. This is a clear Arachnid cyber changer, which is wild because most people are either just finding the regular version now or have still yet to find it at all. And now there's a clear version out there. Sure thing. So the big thing with this one is this Ratchet character. Speculation is going on. Is it a female character? Is it a female character throwing back to the old Bob Budiansky Nurse Ratchet kind of thing? We don't know. I'm looking at this. I'm going, man, this thing looks like, live convoy, Cybertron evac. Give me a little bit of Blades from Rescue Bots, because he had the translucence during the Energon subline, the energized, subline that they had at the time. But yeah, still looks cool. I mean, it's the armored cyber changers, so that means that you're paying for the pretty much the same size figures of the cyber changers, but now with an accessory. That's the world we live in, unfortunately, but it is what it is. It is what it is. T-Formers 2000. Yeah, saw her first about a month ago. Okay, so at least it's popping up. I mean, I can't use myself as an example because Canada, unfortunately, is stuck in Wave 1 Cyber World Purgatory. I have been to, I don't know, 7 different Walmarts since Cyber World has debuted, all these different Walmarts that are in my area, and then maybe 2 Toys R Us's, and never saw anything past Wave 1. So, lucky you. I mean, I'd like to pick up Alita. I think that would be maybe one of the Wave 2 ones I'd be interested in. I don't know who else, but definitely Alita, maybe Starscream. But we'll see. We'll see. But so, yeah, these are going to be popping off. I imagine same MSRP, $14.99 for the armored cyber changers, $12.99 depending on what store you're in. But usually 14's the cap on these. And yeah, check it out if you're interested. There's, of course, all the other translucent redecos, but those are no surprise. We've been talking about them over the past couple of weeks, but these were the 2 big new ones that we saw popping off. And then, of course, this is a big one. We have the Siege Amazon exclusive Greenlight and Dazzle Strike seeing a reissue on Hasbro Pulse. And I literally checked this morning before I did my slides today. Still not sold out yet. So, guys, I'm just telling you, get on this while you can. That's why I included those sold eBay auctions in this slide here. Because people literally just 3 weeks ago were willing to pay almost $200 for this stupid thing. And now it's $42.99 and no one's buying it, which is once again, I can't stress this enough. I have been in the online Transformer fandom since 1995, 96. And if there's one thing that's consistent is I want it. Then when it's gone, I'm willing to step over my own mom for it. I'm willing to pay $200 for it. And then when it's easily available, I don't care anymore. They move on. And it's so funny how that is. And it's crazy how 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, people were paying $200 for this little lady. And now it's $42.99 and it's not even sold out. So it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, guys, if you are interested or you're sitting on the fence, pick it up. Because I feel that unless they do a new version of this character again, which is possible, it would not surprise me if they have to use Greenlight as a trademark again and they use a new Fembot sculpt to just make her all over again. I would not be surprised. But if, and this is, again, don't quote me on it, but if this ends up being the only version of this character, this thing's going to leave that $42.99 and return to this eBay insanity all over again. I'm just saying. I think you're better off purchasing it and keeping it sealed and seeing what happens. Worst case scenario, try to get your money back. Best case scenario, look at those eBay listings. That's all I'm saying. I'm surprised it's still not sold out yet. I really am. I'm with you, James. I mean, the Nova Strike mold that it came from is not the best in the world. It's very, I guess, shell formy in my opinion. But it's more. I'm always of the belief that when it comes to value of Transformer characters, What really takes precedence over everything is availability of that character. Like, I always use Minerva as an example because Minerva, it was like, oh, you like Minerva? You like Master Force? Here's this one transformable figure that is $2,000 loose complete, even yellowed, you know? And that was her market value for no joke, probably 15 years. Like it stayed true. And then they finally did that Walgreens exclusive. Now, granted, it's not a headmaster, it doesn't have the same vibe, but it still is a way to own that version of the character transformable because you could argue PVCs and little, Wonder Festival stuff here and there. But that definitely lowered the interest and market of Minervas. Now, if people wanted to own a Minerva, they have an option for their shelf and they didn't have to, dare I say, consider even $2,000. I had friends back in the day who watched Transformers Victory. They loved Star Saber. And I told them, like, look, you have a choice of at the time, you have a choice of the masterpiece, you have a choice of the Robot Master, you have a choice of the original toy. And they wanted to have something big and hulking, and they got the masterpiece. And the masterpiece at the time was probably like $150, $200. This was what, 2000, I want to say 2016, 2015-ish. Don't quote me on it, something around then. And then look, there's other options. You had the HasLab and other things after that. But the point being is there's always something that, defeats the purpose of the previous one, especially ones that are worth a ton of money. Look at Ironhide situation. People are going crazy for that Amazon Ironhide Prowl 2-pack. Now both of those, you can't even give them away. And Lord knows that'll be an ongoing thing in our hobby because I've seen it back then, literally 30 years ago. That's how long I've been in the online community, 30 years. You could literally Google Proto Man posting back then. I'm old, my friends. I'm old. But so, same story going on here. So we'll see what happens. We will see. We will see. But, I'm someone right now, I don't see the green light trademark registered. So that makes me go, okay, there's no short-term plans outside of this. They put this out and it's like, okay, so clearly it's registered for the time being, but then they're going to probably let it lapse. And then what are they going to do then? Who knows? Are they going to refresh it? Who knows? What's up, Fair Lady Z? One of my patrons. I will be seeing you probably in the near future too. So then, next up, let's talk about some T-Spark stuff, some Overgear, some Takara-Tomy. Very excited about this. They recently put out their Generations Guidebook pre-orders, which will feature, I believe, a manga story, a short-page manga story explaining the story of Overgear. And then we already had a short little clip showing Iron Heidel, aka Roadbuster, with Convoy Optimus Prime. So Overgear's micro lore is starting to bubble up. Us Alternator fans are excited about this one, but we have some information now about this guy, OG03, Overgear Optimus Prime, aka Convoy. We now see everything that he comes with, all the different, poses and styles and weapons and gear. And more importantly, his price and release date, 19,800 yen, $123.50, more or less. Again, these are big, beefy figures, super articulation, tons of accessories. This is, in my opinion, this is something that's a masterpiece item. Like, if I put this next to like some of those like Shogo Hisui era masterpieces of like, let's say, Sideswipe, Blue Streak, and the Wheeljacks and everything, the Datsuns, the Lambors, and the Martini kind of stuff. It, to me, I feel it fits into that, and it kind of has that pricing. And something, I'm kind of interested. When I go to TFCon, I know that definitely by the time this comes out next year, I'm predicting probably the next TFCon West Coast show. I'm definitely going to go to like someone like Ages 3 and Up, not sponsored by this segment, by the way. They're just close friends. Boris and the crew. And I'm going to probably be like, hey, do you have an open one so I could kind of mess with it? Because they'll probably have one on display. And I don't know, I might get this one. I don't know why. It looks good. The other two I wasn't too, I wasn't super excited about Roadbuster and Blackout, but this one, there's something that speaks to me about it that's really cool. So again, this is going to be February 2027, the release date. Again, $123 more or less. You know, your exchange rate will differ depending on region. But yeah, kind of interested in this guy. Kind of interested. And then we got this guy that if he was a little cheaper, I think I'd be interested too, but I just have too much muscle memory of the previous Triptychon. But let's talk about Transformers New Legends NL04 Beast Wars Second Gigastorm. Again, beautiful photo shoot from Takara-Tomy and the T-Spark team. This guy is going to be 41,800 yen, or about $261. Woo! I keep forgetting sometimes how much Japan overpays for Transformers. Even when Triptychon was brand new back then, let's ignore the ollies, clearance, and everything. He was I think $150. And then in Canada, where we overpay for Transformers, I think he was like $220 at most. This is, I mean, look, yeah, I get it. There's a lot of new tooling here. The Giga Scouter, the Megastorm homages with the Headmaster. It's cool as hell. I love this thing. Does it scale properly? Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Gigastorm, his original toy actually makes more sense because he actually, kind of balances well with all the other Beast Wars figures in terms of his size, because even though he was a city former in origin mold, his size was kept into consideration when scaled to other contemporary figures. This thing's going to be a Titan class next to your soon-to-be Megatrons and everything, assuming get Galvatron from Beast Wars Second and everything, and it won't scale at all. It'll be all over the place. It'll be wonky as hell. But it still looks cool. Don't get me wrong. You know what? One day, I'm telling you, stranger things have happened. But one day, I feel like we're going to get city formers at a much more deluxe Voyager scale. Because at one point, like Hasbro's going to be like, what do we do with Metroplex? What do we do with Triptychon? What do we do with, some of these trademarks that are just like, unfortunately, housed into large characters. Like you could do something with a Scorponok. It doesn't have to be a city former. It could be a Beast Wars character. It could be an Energon character. It could be a movie character. Like you're lucky with a Scorponok. You're lucky with, even in the case of something like a Metroplex, because you could kind of throw it on like, oh, hey, here's a Cybertron character that doesn't have to be a Titan class in the future. We could do a leader. We could do this. But a Triptychon has always been, mostly associated with big boys. I mean, hey, there was a Triptychon in a Cyberverse that never had a toy. Maybe they could do a leader of that. But I could see Hasbro one day in the future going, we'll do some Voyagers of these city formers. And then we'll get a Voyager Triptychon, and then we'll get a Voyager Gigastorm, and then it'll be more to scale. And this will be 10 years from now, and Proto Man will be an old man, and you guys will have long moved on and forgotten me, and now you're into a new hobby. You're all Pokemon collectors. Who knows? Who knows? But I'll still be rocking this another 30 years later. It'll never end. It'll never end, as Simon Furman says. But so, yeah, again, $261 this guy. November 2026 is the release date. So this before the end of the year, you will have your big dino chilling in your house soon enough. And then we have the last of the T-Spark stuff. Once again, all of these I've been excited about because I'm an old head. Let's talk about the Missing Link C15 Ratchet. Looks incredible. I love it. Again, the stuff that, back in the day, I'm watching Beast Wars and I'm like imagining in my head how Ironhide and Ratchet's modern toys could have been done properly. And I had the worst, like, oh, maybe you could just like, fold the head down and it'll just make the light bars and the light bars could attach to the back of the head. Like I had my own little ways of how I imagined this could have been done. Obviously it's been done way better than anything I could imagine. But looks great. Again, I like that they gave him a unique accessory with the little ratchet there, a little legit ratchet. In this case, actually, it's more of a key wrench, if anything. Double-sided key wrench, snap-on style. But the big question, and I'm surprised I still didn't get any answers, because usually people are very quick in the comments to find something. I still don't know the origin of this deco loadout for this Diaclone female driver. The Ironhide is clearly Carly in her scuba suit from their episode in the Immobilizer. That's very clear what's going on here. I don't know what this one is. It's clearly not using anything that's exist of Diaclone color loadouts. I must be missing something. Maybe you know what? Ratchet was pretty big in the Marvel books. Now that I think about it, do I have to go back and start looking at like Marvel issues and every female character in that one? Did Buster Jones have like a one-shot girlfriend in the background or something that was wearing this? Who knows? Who knows? My mechanic is showing. Well, I love myself a good snap-on double-sided key wrench. If you've ever done an oil change, it's your go-to. If you know, you know. Actually, I have to fix someone's heat shield on Monday. That just reminded me. I have to get a giant washer for that. Giggity. Anyways, I just remembered that now. Crap. I was out all day today. But yeah, I don't know. I do not know. Yeah, it looks like Carly, James. Well, here's the thing. The one that comes with Ironhide is supposed to be Carly. 100%. Like, that's without question. It's completely homaging the Immobilizer, Carly and Ironhide together. It's her scuba suit that she had with him. Like, totally that. But what is that color scheme? Like, the thing with Diaclone drivers, and this is like getting into inside baseball here. I wish I brought some of mine off of the shelf to show you. But it's like, when they do different colored arms and legs, it's purposeful. There's a reason for it. The original Ratchet, the Vinette Nissan one box ambulance edition Diaclone, came with a Diaclone driver that had red and white. And the red and white was supposed to represent like an ambulance driver, like, some kind of paramedic. They didn't go with those colors. They clearly went with something that's homaging something. Fair Lady Z might be Sorry Sumdac. Maybe. Could be. Hey, that'd be awesome. I'll be honest with you. If it was Sorry Sumdac, that would almost like grease the wheels for me to want to get this even more now. That'd be really cool. But see, sorry. You know what? It's like if this came with Bumblebee, or like if there was like a missing link equivalency of Bulkhead, I'd be with you there. But Ratchet, I don't know. But you might be on to something, Fair Lady Z. Maybe. I don't know. And I was hoping that, like, because they did a T-Spark event where they talk about, like, oh, like, here's what we did, here was what we were planning. And they made no mention of the driver, where at least with the Carly, we had a little still that showed it. Oh, yeah, Immobilizer, scuba suit. So something will come up. Something. I'm sure somebody will figure it out. I'm just surprised so far that has not been the case. Even the Japanese community on Twitter, they're usually really good with that. I follow a few really, well-versed Japanese fans of our hobby, and even they couldn't figure it out. So we will see. We will see. And here's all our, this is unfortunately how I have to size it. Here's all our missing link stuff up to this point, as well as a teaser for an upcoming Decepticon. Brand new tooling, even though technically we had Nemesis Prime over there. Again, I'm calling it. It's going to be Megatron. I get a feeling. If it's going to be D01, it's going to be Megatron. We're going to get our gun Megatron, and then everyone could go crazy. And then hopefully, the one problem is missing link is always about. Let me just go get the RC here, even though it's probably the worst example. It's always about keeping true to the original packaging and loadout. When they did gun Megatrons in Japan, in recent, they always made sure that they're put in robot mode. Masterpiece, they did, I'm sure, I don't know if Cringe McCringle's in the chat, The Best series, which were movie ones that would come with like a movie figure in a G1 mold. They put the gun Megatron G1 1984 reissue in there, robot mode. But if you do something that's true to Missing Link and G1 1985 Japan, Emperor of Destruction Megatron, he's going to have to be in gun mode. And that's going to be a nightmare for shipping. That really is, especially when it comes to certain regions that are a little more touch and go. So we'll see. We will see. Obviously, Starscream, Soundwave, those are another runner-ups for sure. That'll definitely be there. But they're planning something, and it's something we're going to learn very soon. But I feel that it has to happen only because, look, we got our studio series. People were poo-pooing on that. No, why couldn't it be a gun? We know why it can't be a gun, and all those kind of things. So this would kind of satiate those collectors because you know that the missing link is going to get two versions. It's Megatron. So they'll do like a super, toy accurate with the yellow eyes and the way the helmet is done. And it'll be like that, but it'll have the super articulation. And then they'll do an anime version, as they call it, anime, Megatron, DO1 slash, C for cartoon or something, or A for anime, and they'll give it the more screen accurate head. They'll probably give him the Energon mace. They'll give him, I don't know, probably some other extra, maybe a little, Dr. Arkaville Diaclone driver or something, even though technically he shouldn't come with a Diaclone driver. He should come with a Microman pilot, but that would be oversized and weird. But either way, we'll see what happens with that. But it'll definitely be interesting to see what happens because I just feel that they got to do it. They got to do it. They got it. And then the people will rejoice and other people will be hating, and you know how the world is. Craziness is always. Craziness is always. But again, look, they look great. They look great. I mean, the only ones that I don't have right now, I don't have the Ultra Magnuses just because damn they're expensive. And I'm just waiting for like Amazon Japan to do a sale. Like I bought both those RCs at full price. Like I didn't care. And then both of those went on sale. I think they went down to like almost $60. And I was like, man, if you didn't get an RC now, get one. Like she's on sale, like both versions. And that's a fantastic tooling too. And all the others I got, all of them, and they're great. They're great. I don't have the anime colored Bumblebee and and Cliff Jumper, but I do want to get those too because I love Cliff Jumper. Cliff Jumper's my boy, so that's a cool one. But yeah, we will see. We will see. Let's get into some store exclusives. So first we have the Summer Geek Out, the collector spot. So I said like, oh, hey, it's not going to be this weekend because I was hearing Marvel Legends and stuff. Well, I guess they dropped all the Hasbro stuff on Friday. So sure, why not? Works out for everybody. Good news about that. So, I mean, look, the Starscream, guys, I'm convinced that this is not the only way we're going to get this Starscream mold. We're just getting it this way for the time being. Same thing with this Prowl. I am wholeheartedly convinced that we're going to get a better Prowl later. This is Transformers Studio Series More to Meets the Eye Target exclusive Prowl with all of those blue streak tooling on there. We're going to get some Studio Series 1984 Celebration Prowl later that'll have the proper head sculpt, probably a silver gun, the proper front bumper for the Datsun, police, highway chase. I'm telling you, those two don't stress about. But that Insecticon pack, get it. Look, this thing, so let me tell you this. If you bought these three guys individually, right? Like you bought them MSRP individually, that would be like $84. That's not counting the extra Energon cubes. $84 for these three. If you bought the Dramatic Capture series, that was $120. Now, granted, it came with Skywarp too, and you could kind of offset the cost with that Skywarp. This thing is $79.99 and is still not sold out on Target. Get it. This is going to be probably your best Insecticons for a long while. They're animation accurate, comes with the cubes, which are a nice bonus, and it's cheaper than standard MSRP if you bought these deluxes individually. So the other two, if you skip them, I wouldn't rag on you for it. But once again, this is one of those three packs that I'm telling you, like, give it a couple years, and people are going to want to have Insecticons to complete their Decepticon 84-85 display. And it's all going to be here. It's all going to be here. Unless Hasbro down the line decides to sell these guys individually. But by then, who knows? With inflation and everything, you're going to be paying $30 a deluxe. Who knows? So I think they're great. I think they're stupendous. I love that it's the Bombshell has the animation accurate robot mode. So if you even bought a Bombshell individually already, now you have a good alternative. So very cool. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. And again, all of these guys, I think the Prowl and the Starscream are sold out, and the Insecticons are still available. But does not matter. All of these will be hitting stores July 19th. They'll be all over Target. And who knows? Who knows? You know how I always say sometimes stuff goes on sale. And of the three of these, that's the big box set one. And you know how it is. The bigger the box, the more likely the store wants to get rid of it, the deeper the discount. Who knows? If you could get this $79.99 set on clearance later, you'd be stupid not to buy it. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Good stuff. Then we move to Walmart. We got their Walmart exclusive subline, the Energon series. That's what it's literally called, this capsule. And of course, we have Cybertread, and then we got Cybertronic, the Dark Energon. You have pure blue Energon, and then you got Dark Energon with Cybertronic. Yeah, clear decos, Slammer from Kingdom, Six Gun from Siege. They could attach to two Voyagers that are also going to be in this assortment. The Siege Optimus and the Megatron. That's the Siege minor retool mold there, from what I could tell from this one image. So, sure, if you're into clear decos and having fun with it. I mean, for me personally, yeah, I'll be honest with you. These look like items that are going to hit deep clearance. I'm just calling it now. Um, I mean, the out of all of these, I think the Megatron is kind of appealing just because it's like a reformatting Megatron. You could put it next to your reformatting Galvatron figure, and it kind of vibes with each other. So that's kind of cool. But otherwise, I don't know. This, these are going to be $27.99 for the deluxes, $34.99 for the $37.99 for the Voyagers. I don't know. Not my vibe. I think this is something that, sure, when it's like $15 cheaper and Walmart's like, get these out of here. And let's be real, guys. Let's be real. A lot of the other Walmart exclusives, retro reissue, not the retro reissue, but even the retro reissue, retro carded, retro reissues. Heck, even the recent, the recent legacy stuff with the pirates and everything, all of that hit deep clearance at some point. And those, in my opinion, were more interesting. Yes, Optimus is a named character. Yes, Megatron is a named character. But tell me how excited you are for your favorite G1 character, Cybertread. I'd wait. Just a little call on that one, but I'd wait. And Tom Laney does bring up a good point. LED lights will light them up. And considering there's so much clear deco stuff going on with Energon Surge with Cyber World, I wonder if it's, purposeful. Maybe you could put these inside that giant bumblebee, But I'd wait. I dig clear figures. I think they look cool, even though they might suffer from fragility later on in life. But at the same time, I'm always looking at like price versus what you're getting. And I don't know. There's like, I look in the past, like there was like Big Bad Toy Store had a entire line of Transformer Prime figures that were all done in clear, and they couldn't get rid of those. Maybe they've gone up in value since then, like near 20 years later, but man, it's almost been 20 years. Oh, God. But still, it's something where, to me, I don't know. I'll wait on these. I'll wait on. Again, the Megatron's the one. If I could get one, it would be the Megatron. Then let's talk about this collaborations. So we got Monster Jam. We got three different Monster Jams. We're going to talk about two here, and we'll talk about another one in a moment. But we got the El Toro Loco getting turned into a Transformer known as Furioso. And then we got the Megalodon being turned into a Transformer as Big Tooth. And again, look, they're so simple. Look at the legs. It's literally the top of the vehicle. You fold the arms in front of the chest of the robot mode, and you're good to go. There's the whole transformation for both of them. They're very simple. But I totally 110% understand what Hasbro is doing here. Because as someone that's in the diecast world, my father is knee deep in that world. My father is over 70 now, still collects die-cast cars. And I see when we go to those die-cast conventions, kids are so into the Monster Jam stuff. Spin Master, Mattel, they make so much money from Monster Jam. And Monster Jam, why I think it's so popular with kids is not only is it cool, it's a real life, event kind of thing, like wrestling or any kind of live events kind of thing. They're cool, like, there's lore to these like vehicles, but also they're so affordable. And what I mean by that is Monster Jam products range between $1.50 to sometimes at most $10. And so that's great for kids. So I know what Hasbro's doing here. They're giving them their first cigarette. The kids who didn't care about Transformers, but are now going to be able to get Megalodon as a transforming robot. And now they're going to be like, oh, this was kind of fun. That was simple. I was able to do this. Oh, I was so scared of playing with Transformer toys because they're so complicated. That was easy. Maybe I'll buy more. Gotcha. Gotcha, kid. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. And I'm totally for that because we have to build a new generation of collectors, a new audience. It can't all be for us always. And they were smart with the two that they chose. They went with Megalodon that debuted in 2017. They went with the El Toro Loco that debuted in 2002. So these are two, like if you're a 2000s kid or like even a Gen Alpha 2010 kid, this is your big monster truck guys. And the choices that they're going to make for the collector version, the third one, which we'll get into in a moment, was something made in 1982. So everything, in my opinion, and we have two Hasbro guys in the chat today, it was deliberate. It was completely deliberate, a planned out, smart, decisive business move to get a new audience. Not everything has to be super complex. Sure, it's great for us, but there is a whole other demographic that can't even drink that is also buying the lion's share of the market. And we have to keep those guys alive. We have to. Let's get into Age of the Primes. Let's get into that one. So, we're going to talk about the ones that are new to us. I'm not going to talk about Fangry. That's already been said and done. Sorry, I need a lot of water. It has been a long day. But yeah, so let's talk about first Power Master Joyride. I'm stoked about this for multiple reasons. I know some people were not feeling it, but I have a bit of a bias. I love Transformers Master Force. I love the God Masters. And let's just get up for a second. Let's grab a good old vintage book here. Here we go. This is an old kid's book. Like hard like a rock, this book. Made out of super cardboard, this thing. Of introducing the God Masters. And you got good old, well, we would know him as Slapdash, but he's Rodo King. Probably one of my favorite Transformers ever, in my top 3 easily. Then you got, of course, Lightfoot or Lightfoot if you're using actual Japanese vernacular, but Lightfoot, also Canadian. And we knew him over here as a completely different Power Master back in the day. And then right here in the center is Ranger from Canada also. Actually, we'll feature all of them here. So there they all are. And so there is Ranger, aka what we would know as Joyride here in America. And let me tell you, I'm excited. I want Master Force representation in my modern Transformers. Does it suck that he doesn't come with his gun? Yeah, that sucks. Does it suck that his Power Master has less articulation than his Power Master that came out 38 years ago? Yeah, that sucks too. But the robot itself is awesome. Like, that's great articulation. It looks good. The head sculpt is on point. I can't wait for when they do a redeco. I know for a fact, like, Japan is going to look at this and go, yeah, we want our Master Force, Ranger repaint. And they don't have to do anything. They could just do a straight up redeco. They don't have to do new tooling or anything. So that's very cool. That's very, very cool. I like it. I like that we're getting Power Masters, aka God Masters. I know some people are ragging on this. That's fine. Hey, if you don't like it, more for me. More for me. Good, good, good. And let's leave Joyride for a second and another one of my boys, one of my top 10 favorites. Transformers Blanker, aka Point Blank. And it's Blanker because, again, the discourse online, people are like, did Hasbro lose the rights to Point Blank? No, they didn't. Because Point Blank that you got before was indeed Marvel Comics Point Blank, was indeed Point Blank in the cartoon. This is Transformers Headmasters 1987, the anime in Japan, Blanker, with that unique head sculpt that's more true to the toy, if anything. What a badass of a character. So cool. Go back and watch. I believe he was on episode 16 and 17 was their debut in the Headmasters cartoon. Super cool. Super cool characters, and the other Target Masters too, Sure Shot and Crosshairs. I'm dead. Like when I saw that first Point Blank with that clear chest and that ugly head from the comic books, I was just like, ugh, all right, it's my boy, but that's not the boy that I like. I'm going to wait this one out. And I knew that they were going to do a redeco. We're not dumb here. We know how this game works. We know there's other heads on that sprue. So super stoked about that. Hey, and I mean, look, there's there's your Target Master. You got good old Peacemaker. So we're all good. We're fantastic. Again, if I had one complaint, it's because it's the Japanese representation. Japanese Target Masters actually attach their Target Masters to their wrist like Mega Man. Like their wrist, their hand goes into their wrist, and then they plug the Target Master onto their wrist like a wrist mounted gun. The only Transformer to ever do that accurately was actually Cyclonus during the Aaron Archer era of 2008. So it doesn't do that. But aside from that, everything else is awesome. Unless maybe we'll get a surprise from Mark and Evan on Tuesday, which we'll talk about in a moment. But first, let's talk about more of these guys. We got good old Tailgate. So going for screen accuracy for all, I want to say 8 seconds that he was on screen. And it's extremely screen accurate for everything that has been said about this. The one thing you could say is it's not wrong. It's not wrong at all. It's shooting at Trypticon and hiding, and that's that. That's Tailgate in a nutshell. And it's screen accurate. Yeah, if you love Tailgate from the IDW books, you got tons of other great versions. There was the Legends 2-pack that they did with the little mini cons and stuff. You could pick up those versions if you want official versions. But I mean, in my opinion, I want to have screen accurate versions of these characters, even if they're the much more obscure ones. And this one knocked it out of the park. I'm down. And then we got Vector Prime. Already gave you the whole story on it. If you want to know the whole story, I mean, geez, between the individual podcast segments about it here on the podcast, talking about it with Aaron Archer on his podcast, the Toy Armada, about the origins of Vector Prime and his gold coloring. We did a TFCon panel, me and Aaron, talking about Vector Prime and his origins and the gold coloring and everything like that. So it's been talked about to death, so there's no point of me repeating it here. If you want to go learn the history of it, go check out the segment I did just 2 days ago explaining all of this. But this is your true, original, back in the day, original 13 Vector Prime with the orange sword and everything like that. Yeah, it sucks that it's not 100% new tooling. I'm with you there. But it still looks cool. I love the coloring. And as far as I'm concerned, until we get a different character to represent the 13th with Star Optimus, as far as I'm concerned right now, the 13 are finally complete. Finally. Now I just got to track this guy down. TFCon Twins, yeah, that's our boy Proto Man, another monster represented once again. He looks so good. Love the black around the wings. Yeah, man. I mean, it looks fantastic. Very well done. Again, and considering like the Galaxy Force version that came out during Cybertron goes for pretty decent coin, because that was like a late wave Cybertron figure. So on top of that, if you wanted to own that coloring from the 2006, 2007 version, you would have had to pay through the roof today. I think you pay like over $100 easily. So if not more, if we're talking boxed. So very cool. Very, very cool. I hope Aaron's able to get his hands on one of these. Looking good. Looking good. And lastly, let's talk about our leaders here. More Aaron Archer love. Actually, can we see him? You can barely see it over there. There's the tank Unicron over there. Let's talk about Mega Zarek, and let's talk about the Herald of Unicron. So, first up, we got a BotCon 2004 exclusive that goes for $800 USD. And then we got a Andrew Wildman meets Aaron Archer original creation merged into one to be a companion piece for something much bigger later on. I'm very excited about these. Again, I love the Marvel books, specifically during the Simon Furman era. I love that it gives credence to Aaron's designs from Cybertron in 2006. So that's awesome. And I love that I could be able to pick up a BotCon exclusive and not have to spend $800. And it's a better version of it. So not much more I could really say about that. And for people that are wondering the story of Mega Zarek, again, I talked about it on the individual segment, but I'll just cover it here for those that missed it. Originally, the Hartmans. One moment. Let me grab some material. One moment. Do I have that book on hand to show you guys? How far back does the Legends book go? Does it? No, it doesn't go that far back. That's a shame. I was busting out. This is a great book that Tomoya-san and Azusa put together. Oh, you got a super chat. I'll get to that one in a moment. Tomoya and Azusa-san put together a fanzine in Japan called BotCon Legends, and it documented all the BotCon stuff throughout the years. You know, there's some full color pages of all the exclusives, even the Japanese exclusives and stuff and everything. And then just tons of pages. And by the way, bilingual in Japanese and in English, the entire history of BotCon. The guests who were there. Look at this. Look at this. Back in the day when you could just walk up to Peter Cullen like it was nothing. You know? Yeah. Oh, just walk up to Peter, get a free autograph. Let's see who's here. There's a Scott McNeil before he looked homeless. I love you, Scotty. Let me see if Tomoya's in here. I want to see if Tomoya's in here so I could put a face with it for you guys. Love good old Tomoya. Rest in peace, David Wise. Very cool dude. Great writer of Transformers and a lot of 90s cartoons back in the day. But this was a great book. Great, great book. And again, even shows, look at this. Rodimus Primal fan-made item. All the cool fan-made stuff that they would have people bring. So, but the point is that during the Hartman era, which was a lot of this, of the Hartmans of the original BotCon era, they were planning that this would be Megatron in the Generation 3 world. So the Hartmans were building up to a story of Transformers Generation 3, and they wanted to do this story of the next generation. So you have Beast Wars, you have Beast Machines. What's going to be the new era? Since, like now we've broken off, Armada is clearly its own continuity. So they're like, we want to continue moving forward with G1. How do we do that? We're going to do G3, Generation 3. And so they took the Megatron from Armada. It was going to be like an upgraded version of G1 Megatron, as Megatron in this G3 universe. Hasbro was like, we're not feeling that. We really would not prefer if you use our trademark for that. We don't mind using our trademark for some stuff, but not Megatron. So they're like, okay, fine. And in the end, they decided to use Mega Zarek, which was the Japanese name of Scorponok. It's a different character. It comes from a different universe. But none of that really came to fruition because the following year, after 2004, the Hartmans no longer had the BotCon license, and in 2005, Fun Publication would be taking over with Brian Savage and Pete Sinclair. So that's the story with that. It ended up being a $700 to $800 BotCon exclusive, and your wallet is grateful now for you that this is a thing. And that is that. Time of the end with the $2 super chat. Oh, and we have also a gold super chat too. Got a lot here. Thank you guys, by the way. Time of the end with the $2 super chat. Are the target inspection more accurate to the DC? Okay, I guess you're trying to say, is the Target exclusive Insecticons more accurate than the dramatic capture series? So the dramatic capture series, let me just go back to that one for a moment to answer Mister's question here. One moment. I apologize, guys. This is riveting content, of course, when I have to go look for it. Target. There we go. So the Dramatic Capture series Japanese 3-pack with Skywarp is toy accurate. Clear chests, clear yellow chests, chrome like thighs, I guess, and chrome weapons for most of them, not all of them. And the Dramatic Capture series does not come with the thorax weapons that Kickback comes with this version. This version is screen accurate, cartoon accurate. Solid blue, yellow chests, the grayish legs, and the grayish colored weapons that are not silvery chrome. And this one comes with the thoraxes. Both versions also come with the Energon cubes. So if you want screen accuracy, you get this set. If you want toy accuracy, you get the Japanese Dramatic Capture set. So I hope that answers that. Time of the end. Hope that makes you get a little more knowledge in that noggin. And then we got Disciples of Magnus with the $10 gold super chat. Thank you for that, my friend. I love the Herald of Unicron. I'm going to expand my Unicron faction collection. It's funny, we spoke about Unicron figure at retail, like a sort of avatar of Unicron, like Transformers Prime. Well, I mean, Bin Studios would army build those Aaron Archer ones, like had a whole bunch of them because of what Sakamoto did in the mangas. So, but are we going to army build a leader class? I don't know. Maybe if we get them on clearance. But and for people that have been asking, a lot of people have been asking me this question. Yes, it will cover the trademark technically, but that's not something to worry about anyways for Unicron. Let's put it that way. That's all I'm going to say. Where are we? Let's just get this. But yeah, looking great. Looking absolutely stoked. Mark Morales with the $5 super chat. And again, thank you, Magnus, for the gold super chat. Mark Morales with the $5 super chat. I always wanted the Vector Prime repaint back when I owned the red and black Galaxy Force Optimus Prime. I sold both Optimus and Galvatron years ago. Galvatron goes for very good money too. Very, very good money. If you could get a Cybertron Galvatron 100% complete with its missiles and stuff, woo-wee, you're talking, God, mint in box, $300 today. Pricey item. Pricey item. That's what I always tell you guys. Like, if you're going to sell stuff in your collection, go check out what the market's asking first. I know there's guys that are trying to rip you off. They're going to be like, shut up, Proto Man. But it's like, I want you guys to make your money. I want you guys to make your money. But thank you for the super chat. And then lastly, last one we're going to cover is all this stuff from JT Prime 17. We got a lot. We got a lot. So, Tra Gen, Age of the Prime, Seeker Multi-Pack. Only piece of information JT said, the reveal and pre-order will drop during San Diego Comic-Con. So this will be a San Diego Comic-Con reveal, I guess. That's what he says. Collab, Fast and the Furious 2-pack. Originally what was known as Project Rave, Skyline GTR, and another iconic car. Well, the Skyline was used in the first movie. It was used in the second movie. It was used in the third movie. I'm going to assume it's the Skyline that Paul Walker used in the movie. The actor, I don't remember what his character's name was. But Paul Walker's Skyline in the movie, the second one that he used, I'm going to assume it's that. The other iconic car, is it Dominic's car? Is it his Musclehead Mustang? Is it his Supra? Which one? I do not know. That one I don't. And again, also supposedly the reveal will happen, the pre-order will drop and everything during San Diego Comic-Con. And again, San Diego Comic-Con, late July, early August. Collab number 3, Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine. Is this what they're going to do with Ironhide? I'm just calling it now. Are they going to do that with Iron? So many people throughout the years have made jokes about, Ironhide and Toe Line being repainted into the Mystery Machine. Is this going to finally happen now? Are they gonna take that Ironhide tooling, put a Scooby-Doo dog head on it? But yeah, was known as Project Caper, and will also come with a Scooby-Doo tape cassette. That's interesting. Now, tape cassette, do they mean VHS tape or audio tape? Tape cassette, audio tape would be cheaper and smaller, but we will see. I guess maybe VHSs are back. I keep hearing about that. And also a reveal and pre-order that will drop during San Diego Comic-Con. This is all, by the way, according to JT Prime 17. Don't take my word for it. This is just what he said. Then we have a Studio Series Voyager Dreamwave Sunstorm. This is, of course, based off the Sunstorm's depiction in the Dreamwave comic books, Volume 2 of the G1 ongoing series, which is my favorite depiction of Sunstorm. Like, that's when he was a crazy, thinks he's the sun, he's the reborn Primus kind of lunatic, clone of Shockwave. So very cool, that one. And Nate finally gets his Sunstorm that he's been asking for all this time. From Hasbro Marketing. The other collab that we talked about, collab Monster Jam X Transformers Gravedigger. So this is what I was talking about before. Gravedigger debuted in 1982. So if you're an 80s kid, if you're a 90s kid, you know Bigfoot, you know Gravedigger, you know Max D, aka Max Destruction, you know Truckosaurus, which is a real thing. Those were the 80s and 90s Monster Jam stuff back in the day. So it's no surprise that would be the one that's made for the complex collector market, collector based. So check it out. That's going to be pretty hype. I would love to see if they do Bigfoot though too. Bigfoot would be like, that's the Mount Rushmore in my opinion of monster trucks. You got Bigfoot, Gravedigger, Max D, and then I'll put Toro Loco on there just to have a modern one. I'll give him the rub over Megalodon, even though I like Megalodon more. Toro Loco is way more popular. And then of course the last one here, which supposedly is going to be revealed during the Tuesday fan stream coming up, the Hasbro Pulse Transformers fan stream on Tuesday, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. This will also be revealed supposedly this Tuesday. The Transformers Age of the Primes Power Links Red Alert Minicon Pack, Voyager class Armada Universe Red Alert redecoed into his Power Link colors. 8 Minicons included in this box, supposedly. A Hasbro Pulse web exclusive. Reveal and pre-orders drop will happen during the Hasbro Pulse fan stream, supposedly, and will have a MSRP of $80. Now, again, take this all with a grain of salt. What's up, Victory? Take it all with a grain of salt. But supposedly this Tuesday we'll see that. And the pre-orders for this will drop. And I am praying that those Minicons are brand new sculpts. I hope it's all a bunch of brand new Minicons. I'm really hoping that. Because the unfortunate thing is we actually have 10 existing Minicons right now. And they could technically easily just use those 10 modern Minicons as redecos. Technically. They could do like a yellow Jolt. They could do like a different color scheme of the Star Saber sword. They could do a different color scheme of the Requiem blaster. They could do the Rail Racer color scheme of the Crosswise and Rook Sideways Headmasters Minicons for the deep cut from Energon. I mean, there's so many ways they could get easily 10 out of those. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully we get some new tooling out of this. Pretty crazy stuff. And that's it, more or less, for the news. But we're not done yet, because we have San Diego stuff that we promised. Because we'll go into sponsorships, but it's related to sponsorship. Because Symbiote Studios, plush pins and t-shirts. I'm rocking the Grimlock today for a reason. Because let's talk about it. San Diego Comic-Con exclusives and premieres, meaning some of those will be on Symbiote Studios' website to order. Let's talk about G2 Grimlock. So last year, we had G2 Snarl with the G2 logo there. His dark face, his red eyes. just this gray coloring, because there's multiple different colors for our G2 Dinobots. And now we have G2 Grimlock. Rocking his blue and everything like that. Limited number at San Diego Comic-Con. I'd hate to say it, probably going to sell out. Whatever doesn't sell out ends up on Symbiote Studios' website. But last year, the Snarl sold out by the Saturday. So I hate to say it, you're going to have to ask someone to get yourself a copy. So that's going to be exclusive to San Diego Comic-Con. Then we have premiering at San Diego Comic-Con. Premiering, but not, let me grab the Laserbeak one. Oh no, Butters took him away. Oh no. Oh well. Butters knocked it over. It's all on the couch over here behind me. You can see all the plushes and stuff. But we have the Shoulder Sitter Ravage debuting at San Diego Comic-Con. This will be available also on their website afterwards, but it, again, probably will sell out quickly, so you'll probably have to wait maybe a week or two when they get back from San Diego to get your order of this. The Laserbeak sold out ridiculously quickly at TFCon. You put a little magnet that it comes with under your shoulder, and then the character attaches. A great little cosplay item, or then some. So many people had them at TFCon LA. Very, very cool. So now we have Ravage here is the next one. Will be debuting at San Diego, but will also be available online after the fact too. So stay tuned for that. Then we have a new t-shirt. We have a Catnip Bravo collab t-shirt with Soundwave. We got Laserbeak there. We got Ravage. So we got to have Soundwave with Catnip coming out of the tape cassette. Possibly the next cassette, maybe. Something's going on there, Catnip. There we go. So check that one out. That's actually a shoulder sitter Catnip you could also pick up from them. So you could get that too. You could put the Laserbeak, you could put the Ravage, you could put Catnip, and you could have them all on your Soundwave cosplay if you want. So there's the t-shirt too. Oh, I forgot to mention also. So the Grimlock is going to be $29.99. The Ravage is going to be $24.99, and the t-shirt is going to be $24.99. And the t-shirt is also going to be exclusive to San Diego. So get it while you can, because they sell out every single time. And then debuting at San Diego, but will be available on the website afterwards, a whole new collection of pins. 10 new pins. Optimus, Bumblebee. These are oversized pins, by the way. So the reason why I have that picture there showing it on the breast pocket, these are the normal small pins. Little small ones. These are much larger. So you got Optimus, you got Bumblebee, you got Starscream, you got Devastator. You always got to do Legendary 7. You got Devastator, and you got Soundwave. And then back by popular demand, brand new ones. Slag Podcast, baby. We got some Dinobot pins, brand new ones. We got Grimlock, Slag, aka Slug. You got Sludge, you got Snarl, and you got Swoop. Also oversized big pins. These are going to be $14.99, debuting at the show, but will be available on the website afterwards. Looking good in the hood, as always. All of these will be starting at San Diego. Some will be exclusive, some will be on the website. Stay tuned for that. And check out Symbiote Studios for more stuff like My Little Pony. And of course, Magic the Gathering. All the Hasbro brands. And the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. I don't know, did Aaron come in the chat today? I didn't see. But check out the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. We talked about the classic stuff. Interestingly enough, if you want to know more about Gun Talk and Megatron, go check out this segment, because we talked about Gun Megatron, how that all worked out, doing the Nerf gun, the whole story with that, the choices of the colors, the origin of that alt mode and where it came from the Nerf division. Very cool stories. Me and Aaron Archer talking about the origin of probably the most important subline of Transformers ever made, that being the Classics line, that still is technically kicking to this very day with Generations. So check that out, yo. And of course, pick yourself up a Posca painting from archermonster.com/shop. Handmade Aaron Archer goods. Own a piece of Transformers history. Let me grab an example here. He takes the original 20 to 30-year-old instructions. What do I got here? I got myself a depth charge here. And then he draws the character in Posca paint. just for you, one of one. And then you frame it, you put it on your shelf. Look how happy Shia is. Look how happy Josh Dumel is. Great stuff. Check it out, yo. archermonster.com/shop. And if you're wondering where Aaron is, he's on special projects right now. I'll leave it to him to talk about it when the time comes. Big stuff he's been working on, so stay tuned for that. And speaking of big stuff, we also have coming this. Got to reach for it here. Coming this Wednesday. This Wednesday, New Comic Book Wednesday, June 10th, 2026. All your local comic book shops. Mega Man X issue number 4 debuts. This is a very heavy issue. Very, very heavy issue. Someone will die. Spoiler. So check that out, yo. Written by me, art by Hanzo Steinbach. A lot of cool covers. We got a cover from Guido Guidi of Transformers pedigree. Back in the day, Guido used to do box art, Transformer designs and stuff. So we got Guido to do a cover for us. We got Hanzo Steinbach that did the Vile cover. We got Edwin Huang who did the Sting Chameleon cover. We got Chamba who did the Sigma cover, and the ever talented Atomic Marshmallow that did the Minerva and Luna cover. So great stuff. Check it out, yo. This Wednesday, June 10th, 2026. Mega Man X, issue number 4, written by this dummy. So check that out, yo. Check that out. It's not a hoax. It's not a prank. In this issue, a robot will die. And that's it, more or less, for that. We have stuff we'll talk about that we picked up today. Little cute things here and there. And then we'll spend the next, oh my God, we only have 45 minutes left. Wow, we really ate through everything today. We'll spend the rest of it just taking super chats from you guys and answering questions and stuff. So, what did we get? So, apparently Dollarama here in Canada is getting dead stock of BotBot's inventory we never saw. So the BotBot's Ruckus Rally, actually, one moment. I want to actually explain something first. So BotBots, when it debuted in Canada, we got Wave 1. And that was it. Just Wave 1. What was that? 2016? Something like that? Wave 1. No Wave 2, no Wave 3, no Wave 4, no Wave 5, no of the extra goods on the side, nothing. And then out of nowhere, in Dollarama, for $2 a piece, $2 Canadian, so that's like $1.10, the Ruckus Rally Wave 6 is now available. Now, I don't know what's going on here, because when I went, they only put one case out, and if anyone knows how these blind packs work, one case is one of every character. So I bought the whole case just for myself. I didn't have any of these guys. So I cleared out my Dollarama. Do they have more cases in the back? I don't know. But if you are hearing my voice right now, go to a Dollarama. They probably have these guys on the uber cheap right now. So check it out. But unfortunately, if you want to get all of them, you got to pray that there's a full case assortment that no one has messed with. And if you want to know, on the back, right next to this S emblem here is a letter. And that's how you identify who you're getting in the box. A to X, 24 different characters. When it was all said and done, to get all 24 with Canadian taxes, keep in mind Canadian taxes are a little expensive, it came to $52 Canadian, which is about 41 USD to get the full assortment. Not too bad, in my opinion. And you get a lot of unique designs in here. This was the BotBots wave, that it was BotBots that came with accessories that you could easily lose. So when you open these up, make sure to check for little forks and knives and chopsticks and weapons and accessories, because they could easily be lost. But you get a lot of wacky stuff in this one. The Mallard is in this wave, as well as a few others too. So I picked that up, and they had Beyblade stuff also at $2 a piece. $2 for Beyblade X stuff, $2 Canadian. I'd be stupid not to buy it. This was the only one that was available. I would have bought more if there was. So that's really cool. Beyblade X stuff for $2 Canadian. And then, this was her, I didn't buy it. they had all the Playmobil Naruto stuff. This is what I'm talking about, Ninjatron, some ninja related stuff. They had all the Playmobil Naruto. Now these were $5 Canadian, which is still not too bad in my opinion. I don't know what Playmobil stuff is supposed to cost, but she collects Lego and Playmobil. So this is the Naruto stuff. Apparently, this was one she never found when it was at Toys R Us. So yeah, apparently she's looking for Sakura, a pink-haired girl. So if anyone knows where to find the Sakura one, that's the one she's hunting down. Supposedly she has all of them after that. So there's that. That's popping off. Very, very cool. So check that out too. And then we went to Walmart, and there was a whole bunch of clearance going on at Walmart. Something she bought and something I bought. She bought this Jurassic Park playset thingy. This was originally $24.99. It was $8. I looked at it and I'm like, that's actually kind of cool. Like, makes me kind of wish they did more Microverse Beast Wars stuff. Look at that environment. That's kind of cool. All the little dinos and everything. But she likes her Jurassic Park stuff. She grew up with the Jurassic Park movies and always has a huge nostalgia for them. And she always likes wearing Jurassic Park shirts and stuff. So she got that. She's very happy with it. I think she got it for the dinosaurs more than anything. But very cool little playset. Micro playsets are always awesome. What did I pick up? They're clearancing all the Swapticons. This was the only one that I wanted that was left. So here's the double Black Cat, Ravage, and Shadow Panther 2-pack. These are on clearance right now. I think I paid $5. I don't remember. I just remember it was a really cheap price, $5 Canadian. But they had I think the only other one they had was they had the Tigatron Cheetor, which I already bought, so I don't want that one. I'd like to track down the Clench, because that's a unique one, the G2 Clench, and then I think the others I could live without. I don't think I need Starscream or any of those others. But this is a unique one, some Beast Wars love. So $5, can't go wrong with that. Can't go wrong with that. And that's all I bought. Everything on sale. This is how I live my life. All this behind, ignore this. None of this was bought full MSRP. I wait. I wait. You know? I wait. But yeah, that's all we got more or less. But definitely if you're a Canadian or an American with Dollar Tree, go check it out because these guys might be showing up now. Bunch of cases of these. That's pretty crazy. So, and I mean, especially for Canadians, $2 Canadian each. I mean, these were like $7.99 before, which is. Look, I like BotBots, but I don't like BotBots $7.99 BotBots. And it's just, it is what it is. Very, very cool. Who's in this one? Let's see. Let's try to, because the funny thing is it's very easy to steal these, unfortunately. All you have to do is you kind of do this, you just squeeze it, and then you could just slide out the figure very easily. But who do we got here? Let's just do a live unboxing. We got to be careful because like I said, there's usually accessories with this wave. We got the joystick. This is like the Atari joystick. I think his name is Joystick actually. That's the Atari joystick guy. Very, very cool. I think he was originally the camera, and then they, through their cleverness, made it a joystick. So, very, very cool. And all you could do is you could just wrap it up. Oh, I don't like this one. Proto Man's going to teach me something naughty. And then you put it back in here. And then you go, oh, no one's the wiser. Back all the Proto Man does not encourage you to steal and or swap the bot the cons. But yeah, that's pretty much how that works with those. It is what it is. Brainstorm with the $5 super chat. Being on vacay sucks because the home waiting for me has the Hasbro 84 Proton pack. Oh wow, that big HasLab one got shipped to you. My buddy Arnaud, shout out to him. He's a big Ghostbusters fan here in Montreal. He's actually, I've said his name before here on the podcast. He is, without a doubt, one of the biggest He-Man collectors in the world. He was actually featured on the He-Man documentary, Power and Honor, whatever it was called there, that they had on Netflix at one point. He was featured on there because he was like an authority on it. He lives here in Montreal. He's so stoked about the He-Man movie. He's so like for him, that's his Michael Bay. Like this is our moment. We can make a big comeback. So I kind of wish the best. That He-Man movie looks interesting. I'll see it. Maybe I don't know. I'm not a big movie person. It has to be like I have to like. I think the only movie I'm like legitimately curious to see in theaters is maybe the Street Fighter movie. That is the only one where I'm like, I think I want to see that. I think I want to pay money to see that. Everything else, I just wait in general. I mean, obviously, before that, it was the Mario Galaxy movie. That was the only other movie I saw in theaters in a while. So, yep. Uh, nope, the normal release. Oh, okay. Yeah, the HasLab one is HasLab one was looked very expensive. I can't even imagine if Transformer fans had to have stuff like that. Um, T-Formers 2002. Odd, we haven't seen any new HasLab funding starting for any of the brands. Well, again, if history has taught us anything, every San Diego they have a nice big empty area that's a teaser for something. Last year, there was this big empty area, and they brought out the Star Wars HasLab. The year before that, there was this big empty runway, and they brought out the not the Ghostbusters, the G.I. Joe one. The year before that, it was the Ghostbusters one that they showed off. So every year, there's some big HasLab reveal. Not necessarily Transformers, but one of the tentpole HasLab items. So for sure, something will probably be coming. For sure. Now, there was the rumors, supposedly, that they're not going to be doing any G.I. Joe stuff. But I think, and again, I'm not in the know of the G.I. Joe world of like in terms of the behind the scenes. So don't take any of my words right now that I'm going to say for gospel. But I think the writing was on the wall with G.I. Joe when they were selling those like snow HISS tanks made to order. It's like, oh, well, if you could do that, why do a HasLab? So but that's just my take. Maybe because the tooling and the design was already done for the HISS tank, so they could get away with doing the snow one. I don't know. I don't know how the rules or how they do their things. Lenny and the crew on the GI Joe side of things. I just go in there once in a while as a GI Joe fan and pick up a few figures here and there. That Ninja Scarlet actually is speaking to me. That looks pretty cool, but I don't want to buy a 2-pack, so we'll see. I'll talk to them at San Diego. Maybe we could work something out. Yeah. Lizard Sphere X, Mario Galaxy was awful. It was clearly made for TikTok and YouTube Shorts. The one thing I liked about Mario Galaxy was my favorite Mario game of all time is Super Mario 2, the original. So Wart, Shy Guys, Sniffits, Ninjas, Birdo, like that speaks to me. Yeah, that scene was cool. I'm not a fan of making Princess Peach and Rosalina sisters. That's kind of silly. I've always liked the idea of her kind of being part of that mushroom world and having parents and that, the lore has always had that. I mean, I thought honestly that they were suggesting that she came from the same world as Mario, like Brooklyn or Earth, and she just got sucked in there too. And that was the connection that she had with Mario was they were both humans. That's why she finds a connection with him. Now she's just some kind of godly being. I don't know. Kind of. When you make a character like a godly being, it takes away from, what makes them interesting. Flawed characters are always more interesting than like unstoppable ones. That's why people always will like Batman more than Superman. Why people always like Wolverine more than like Thor, you know? But yeah, we got a super chat from Mr. Galactic Gamer for $5. Protoman, do you think we will ever see a modern toy of Beast Wars Neo Unicron? I mean, let's put it this way. They're going to have to constantly, whenever they have to do a Unicron, to do something new. The way that I see it is, within our lifetime, we're going to see an update of Armada Unicron. Within our lifetime, we're going to see a black repaint Unicron. Within our lifetime, we'll probably see a Beast Wars Neo Unicron. And the reason why I say that was not only, it was a canceled toy, prototype, resin. It got as far as that of the test shot phases, but it was featured in the anime. It was featured in the anime quite predominantly. You know, it wasn't just like a one episode thing. It was featured quite heavily in the Beast Wars Neo anime. So because it was featured there, there's equity, there's value. If it was a prototype of something that never had any media presence, didn't have some kind of weight to it, I could see it disappearing. But yet, think about it, right? Mr. over here, Unicron, Tank, Cybertron, Beast War, excuse me, Aaron Archer's, release, deluxe class. That had a little bit of media presence in the Bakkan Club comics, a little bit of media presence in the Sakamoto mangas through Legends, again, pack-ins, and that was it. That was it. Nothing else. And yet they took a deluxe class figure and went, let's up it. Let's make it a leader. So I could see it happening. I could see at some point they go, hey, look, I'm not saying it's happening tomorrow, but I could see in 10 years from now, they go, you know what? It's time for Beast Wars Neo Unicron. It's 1920, excuse me, it's 2029. It's it's 2039. Let's go really far. It's 2039. It's the 40th anniversary of Beast Wars Neo. And so it's the 40th anniversary of Beast Wars Neo. Let's do 40th anniversary Beast Wars Neo Unicron as our Titan class this year. Am I going to have no hair and be bald and have grandchildren? Probably. But the point is, it'll happen at some point in our lifetime. But you got to understand something. Like, think about being a classics collector back in 2006 and envisioning what we will get year to year. Think about I look at my classics collection and I sort my classics collection by release date in a lot of ways. And I look at man, it took a decade to get to Thunderwing. It took a decade to get to a half decent RC, you know? So in this hobby, you got to be patient. You got to appreciate what there is in front of you, but always know there's something new coming. Always know. And nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. We have Flame. We have Straxus. We have Emerald Zeron. We have weird background characters. We got Nacelle. We have so many Transformer figures that are the most deepest of cuts, and they exist as figures. Present company in front of me, That's what I'm saying. So, Unicron, featured item in a anime series, for sure. For sure. And thank you for the super chat. Claw Grip is my favorite boss in Super Mario Bros. 2. And unique to that one, Doki Doki Panic didn't have Claw Grip. The best way actually to play Super Mario Brothers 2 is the Super Mario Brothers 2 Advance version. The Game Boy Advance one is the best version. It has voice acting. It has new bosses. It's really cool. Very well done. Very well done. T-Formers 2002, we just got done with all the primes. That's huge. Yeah. Aaron Archer didn't believe it. Aaron Archer's when he was responsible for the creation of most of those along with Simon Furman. And he's surprised that happened because when he created those, he thought, oh, those will never happen. Yeah, we got Vector Prime, but that was incidental. Yeah, we got Alpha Trion, but that was more because he was, retroactively made a Prime, if anything. We got the Fallen, but that's because, again, he kind of started that along with, and you could barely see it, but the old Titaniums back in the day because of the, Dreamwave and Pat Lee and everything that was going on with Don Figueroa with War Within. But Amalgamus, he would have never thought that would have happened, especially the way it was drawn back in the day with Eric Siebeneller and the crew. So, yeah, for sure. Tom Laney with Wild King doing well. Think Hasbro would bring it over, even add repaints to fill out the line. Well, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The big problem with Wild King is it's too good. And what I mean by that is, unfortunately, so Wild King is the same size as these, these Cyber World Cyber Changers. But a Cyber World Cyber Changer is a hollow, simple figure. Not many parts, not many pieces, very simple. I literally just do the transformation like a flip changer, and that's that. $10. Same size, exact same size, but way more parts and pieces. And that's the problem. You know, when you have all of these parts and pieces, a much more legitimate transformation, way better plastic quality, not as hollow as Mr. over here. You know, different story. So, would Hasbro be willing to import this and then ask $19.99 for it when this is sitting right next to it on the shelf at $10? That's the problem. Is the sticker shock, as I like to call it, will hurt it a lot. And the paint. Look, the little Energonus chip has nice paint on it. Look, they paint like it's a whole silver paint on the back from the molded plastic. I don't think it's in the budget. I really don't. They'll have to ask way too much, and I don't think if it doesn't have a strong media partner with it, would they want to invest? Oh, maybe they could just dub the episodes that exist already from the YouTube series. Yeah, it's true. You could do that, but I don't know. I don't know. I love Wild King. It's doing ridiculously well in Japan. It is selling out on Amazon, but I don't know where it would exist in the ecosystem of Hasbro with how pricey it is probably to manufacture those products. Like, what would they ask? They could get away with 5-minute Cyberworld episodes with $10 action figures that have open ended packaging, which also saves on the costs, you know? Like $10. They could get away with that. All of the parts and pieces that have to be in a closed box, which they don't want to do closed box, so they'd have to do a bubble. So all the closed pieces that something like this would have, people are going to be stealing pieces off these guys. It's all about all the pieces that come off, like, I don't know. I would love it if it was here. I love Wild King. I love it to death. This guy right here was my travel buddy in Japan. Picked him up from Don Quixote on sale, 700 yen, which was like $5 USD. And then he was my travel partner across Japan. Love that figure. Love it, love it. And I would love for those to always be available for everybody to pick up. But at the same time, the way Hasbro does business and the ecosystem, I don't know if it would work there. It's a very Japanese product, I'm trying to say. TFCon Twins, it's like how exciting the 2000s were for RID to Transformers Prime, all the new series, all new take and different characters. So in 2020, the 13 Primes is like that for us. Oh, yeah. Well, it's the only thing that we could compare it to, though, is like at least imagine if we had a original 13 TV series to kind of complement that. I think that's what would have made it bigger. Some kind of like deep origin story with those 13 characters. That would have been cool. But c'est la vie. In a very successful Transformer brand world, Age of the Primes is a 26 episode Saturday TV series or Netflix or streaming service deep explaining the origins of Transformers, and they would, they would take that risk and everything like that. Have Prima be the leader. He'll be the Optimus Prime character. Have like Megatronus be the flawed Vegeta, Shadow the Hedgehog character. Have Solus be the sassy female that thinks she's smart and everybody, because that's usually how the tropes are written, unfortunately, when it comes to children's programming. You could have Mike Cronus be the nerd. You could have I'm just because I'm looking at my display of them. You could have Quintus be like the sage kind of, animated prowl character. Who knows? Who knows? You got to do all those tropes when you're doing simple writing for television. But either way, Tom Laney, I mean, it's still cheaper than Marvel Legends and Star Wars pack blockies. Are we talking about blockies? Blockies are making Hasbro really rethink their whole business operation, but that's a whole other conversation. Blockies are doing what Bandai has been doing for 70 years. Like, no joke, 60 years actually. Bandai, I've told you guys this before, but I'll say it again for anyone who's new here in the chat. But like, Bandai saw what Clover did. Clover's like, hey, we're going to do Gundam product for this new show, Gundam, Mobile Suit Gundam. Clover, which was a die-cast and toy manufacturer in the 60s and 70s, did the Gundam stuff. It sold extremely poorly, and that was that. And Gundam was canceled. But then they're like, man, like, we put all this time and energy into this. Why don't we make some movie iterations? Thank you for the super chat. We'll get to you in a moment, Mark. Like, it's something where, they were like, oh, like, we probably still have some meat on the bone here. And Bandai did the smartest thing they ever did, which was the people who worked at Bandai of Japan back then. There was a few of them that were very plamode otaku. Plamode is in Japanese shorthand for plastic model. So there was plamode otakus in Bandai of Japan. Guys who went to work, smoked their chain cigarettes, and built model kits of tanks, of motorcycles. And they were like, why don't we do this of our robots and our action figures? And that was the first run of Gundam model kits in 1980. That very first run. And it was like, we manufacture it from the injection molding, and then we make the customer do all of the assembly. And man, did that save them billions of dollars. Billions, and I'm not over exaggerating, billions of dollars. And they've been doing this 60 years later to this very day. And then Blockies is like, hey, we could do that too, except that we're in China and we already do the manufacturing. So we could do the manufacturing for pennies on the dollar, and then the customer will do the assembly, and then we'll just make billions of dollars. And then Hasbro, being late to the game, is going, I think we got something here. And the rest is history. They've tried. They tried with Zoids. They tried with early Beyblade, Plastic Gen, with assembly of model kits. I think they saw the lack of success with the retail versions of Gundam Wing back in 1999-2000 that Bandai of America did before Bandai of America folded. And not to mention their own lack of success with Zoids. They always try to bring over Zoids, and it never seems to catch, which is a shame because I love Zoids, and that's a fantastic, brand to get into. Cool lore, cool motorized vehicles you could build. Great stuff. But yeah, I think Blockies is making Hasbro think twice. And that Make It thing that we saw, that speaks volumes about what's going on behind the scenes right now. Mark now with the $2 super chat. Thank you, Mark. Alchemist can be the drinking uncle. Well, think about it, right? Alchemist is the drinking uncle, but he also has to give you sage advice because he's a bartender. Because bartenders are always about giving advice to people, so they have to give you drunken advice. What's that, Megatronus? You're jealous that Solus is talking to Prima? Just kill him. you know. Wait, what did I say? Oh no. Did I just cause the end of Cybertronian, society? Tom Laney, I don't think Hasbro can reinvent the model making. Well, again, it's something that I have in the other room, straight from the factory, from the sprues of classics. Do you want to see it? I'm just going to bring it to you guys. I have to show it to you. One moment. One moment. You get to see something cool today. This is, there goes the pins from the factory. All the little pins and everything. Classics hot rod, still on the sprue from the factory. We'll get in a little closer if you wish. It's a little dicey. There you go. That's his hood. Sheet number 1. Here's the spoiler, the head, the joints. This is how it's assembled in the factory. Proto Man's a little crazy. So, now imagine this is what you get instead. Now, obviously, with the factory, I also had the little pins and everything and screws that are needed to put together the wheels, because the wheels have screws and rivets and everything. The chest has a pin across it. But imagine you got this instead. Build your own classics hot rod. One day that might be the future. I'm telling you. And think about it. You bought a classics hot rod for, at the time, $10 for a deluxe class, 2006. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. By the way, thank you to a certain someone who works at Hasbro, who I can't name, who managed to get me this when I was working during the John Warden times. That will not pinpoint who he is, but it wasn't John Warden. I'll say that much. So, but that's the reality. And you know how many times I look at that thing and go like, man, imagine if I just decided to take them off of the sprues and build it, and I'd have like an all white hot rod. Yeah. So it's something where, and again, that's in the other room. I keep my prototypes because it's climate controlled over there. Um, that's what I'm saying. Like that's something that, and imagine I got that in 2017, and it sat in the collection of a Hasbro employee who just didn't care anymore. It's like, whatever. Do you want it? I'm like, yes, yes. Um, but it's something where, to me, I look at that and I go, that could be a reality in the future. As someone who's built hundreds of Gundam model kits, who's built dozens of monogram vehicle model kits and blockies, I'm not even going to count that. I mean, do you want to count every single one as one? But, you know, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, it's a reality. It's a reality. My perfect mind broke at the waist. Can you lend me the parts? Well, I mean, the clear one is pretty fragile of hot rod. But yeah, and painted to your liking. Yeah, well, I mean, the crazy thing about hot rod, I mean, let me just take a photo for you guys to just show you my classic. Oh, wait, is my phone upstairs? Oh man, I left my phone upstairs. Oh well. Oh well. Doesn't matter. Oh, I did. No, hold on. There's my phone. Okay, one moment. Let me show you something. I'm just going to take another photo for you, just to give you an idea of the craziness. Of the craziness. So right here, because the camera doesn't reach that far, unfortunately, there's like every color of the rainbow of Classics Hot Rod, because Proto Man's a sick man. So needless to say, like when I got the prototype from the factory, very happy. Hey, Aaron, what's up? Aaron, you show up when we got like 10 minutes left. After I was glazing you like crazy. Oh my God, Aaron, he's the greatest Transformer designer of all time. No one even comes close. Shogo Hisui? Who's that? Kojin Ono? Yoke-san? What are these like niche characters, in like some kind of anime? Anyways, what's up, Aaron? Golden Lagoon hot rod. Yeah, we got it. Well, a gold hot rod's Primus in any other day of the week. Any other day of the week, a gold hot rod is Primus. But yeah, that's I just see it going that way in the future because especially like after that interview with Chris Cox and the talk of like they're going to use AI to kind of lower costs in different areas and they're going to use AI here and they're going to use AI there. Like if you want to like not use AI and save money, the model kit route makes sense, you know? And considering, look, I showed you just now the assembly of a model kit for a classics hot rod. Now imagine the same thing, but something that's ridiculously simple. Like hot rod is much more complex with pins and rivets. This thing, I mean, it's got like one pin in it, maybe, just for like the auto transform part. This is way simpler. And as someone who's built kabaya kits of transformers and all kinds of much more simple kind of transformable model kit stuff, it could be done, you know? That could be the route that they go. You get a sprue with three different colors, maybe two stickers for the eyes, and then that's it. You assemble it, and there's your cyber world, Megatron, Mega Bull Megatron. But yeah, Aaron, what are your thoughts? We'll get you here right now. Might as well. Although, Aaron, maybe you should do your own live stream if you want to. I would actually prefer that. I don't want to steal your thunder here. Have your own thoughts on a certain tank Unicron and Vector Prime and literally all the stuff that's going to be talked about on Tuesday. 50% of them were your creations. So it's going to be interesting on Tuesday, to say the least. Very interesting, to say the least. Got the Mega Zarek, which is the Armada Megatron. We got the Mega Tank. We got the what do you call it? The Vector Prime. Heck, if you want to go into Gravedigger, it's a little bit of Dirt Boss back there too. All the other stuff, and then of course you have the Red Alert with all the mini cons. That's all you. It's a good time to be Aaron Archer, celebrating the angry Archer. But yeah, either way, that's it more or less. Good stuff. We have 7 minutes left. We'll take a few questions and then we'll call it quits for today. In the meantime, we'll show you some other cool stuff here. What do we got here? More Godmaster stuff. Look at that. Look at that kick that Ranger did right to Darkwing's face. Or Hydra in this case. There's all your Godmasters kicking butt. I love these books, these Japanese kids' books. There's the whole crew there. I love these guys. I have a complete bias. Two of them are Canadian and one of them is a race car driver. So that's my favorite flavor of people. Then Buster and Hydra. Very cool. And these awesome dudes. If you could ever find these books in good shape, it's pretty hard to find them in decent shape because kids usually spill stuff on them and they get destroyed throughout the years. But if you could find these in good shape, they do them of all different kinds of brands: Transformers, Ultraman, Super Sentai stuff, Kinnikuman, Man, Dragon Ball. They're like the Golden Book version, but for kids. And they do hundreds of these. And whenever I go to Japan, I try to track them down in decent condition on the cheap. But this is like my I have a whole bunch of them, but this is one of my like holy grail ones just because you don't get enough love for Road King. So to get like a book that kind of like features him introducing the Godmasters. It's really, really cool. Yeah, they did Beast Wars ones. I have a few of those too. But I mean, obviously I have like all the Transformer 2010 ones because it's all Hot Rod love. And it's a lot of Ox designs. So it's a lot of the Studio Ox kind of designs of stuff. A little bit of Obari drawing for children's books. And if you know Obari, some of his stuff is not for children. That's why I love him. Uh, T-Formers 2002 got 5 more weeks till TFCon Toronto. Just waiting for more guest reveals. They already announced Armada Hotshot. Well, that's the Armada Hotshot. Brent something. Brent Miller? That's a big one because he's never done a Transformer convention before, including BotCon. So that's really cool to finally get him because I've been to 20 BotCons. He's never been to any of them. So that's pretty awesome to get him as a guest. So that'll be kind of like the rare cool one. No offense to Gary Chalk and Scott McNeil and David Kay. Those guys are legends above legends. But if you didn't see Gary Chalk this week, you'll get another chance. If you didn't see Scotty this week, you'll get another chance. This Brent guy, he doesn't do much conventions. So Armada Hotshot's going to be the go-to voice actor to get. TFCon Twins, Proto, any guess on what's to come next year? More Beast Wars from Japanese side, Beast Combiners, more RID, Rail Racer. I would love a Rail Racer. Godmasters more. Well, I mean, if you're kind of looking at like already, like think about like what you were looking at in 2024 and what we got in 2025. There's a very strong mixture of focus on redecos to make new characters and partials, and a big focus on the obscure stuff that we have not gotten yet, with a sprinkling of celebrating the past. I mean, people are like, oh, like there's too much G1. Well, I get it. Yeah, there's too much G1, but they're also celebrating the 40th anniversary of the movie. So you don't go into an anniversary year and not celebrate probably the most important piece of G1 history, you know? Like it's one thing if like, oh, we're going to be celebrating the 40th anniversary of Devastator and not sell Constructicon pieces, like which is what happened last year. Think about it. It's 40th anniversary of the debut of Devastator in retail, 1985. And what did they do? Devastator pieces. Even blockies, Devastator pieces. It was there's a synergy that's going on with Hasbro. So, hey, here's a spoiler. What is going to be celebrating the 20th anniversary next year? I'm waiting for that answer in the chat so I don't have to say it. But what's going to be the big 20th anniversary that saved the brand and made it more famous than it ever was since 1985 and 1997? What is that for 2027? Oh, wait. You'll have a Hot Shot sticker ready for but is it going to be a video game Hot Shot related sticker? Is it going to be Hot Shot throwing a Mario fireball? You got to do one of those too, because I collect yours. I have them all here, actually. Ninjatron. No joke. I have them all here. I keep them nearby because I love them. They're really cool. There, I might as well show it. This is his Grimlock Yoshi. Very, very cool. Yep, Bayverse. There you go. So think about it. So next year, if you're tired of G1, I hope you're not tired of Michael Bay movie stuff. So that's definitely going to be the big celebration. Did other stuff debut in 2007? Of course. But Bayverse is obviously the big one. Thank you, Frostbite, for subscribing. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, that's the way I would look at it. You always have to look at what is the celebrations and anniversaries, what debuted in those years. Hasbro really likes to lean into that, and make that a little bit of the primary focus on some of the more upper echelon product, as they should when you have a brand that's that old. And I mean, that goes, Aaron could speak of it. Aaron worked on the 100 Batman. This was, Aaron, what year was that? Like 1994, 95? Was it 95? I think it was 95. But Aaron worked on the 100 Batman, which was like one of those first celebration items within the company. Mind you, it was Kenner at the time before the Hasbro merger. But, and then Star Wars would do that. Oh, 20th anniversary Star Wars stuff, It was an early idea, but it worked. Ninja Turtles did it. 5th anniversary Ninja Turtles gold Leonardo figure. If anyone remembers that one, it was like a gold Leonardo on a base. I have one. I'd love to get one boxed. That celebrated the 5th anniversary of Ninja Turtles. They did a 10th anniversary G.I. Joe box set with Scarlet and Snake Eyes back in the day. Or was it 20th? Was it 20th or 10th? I want to say 20th because it was probably came out in 2002, now that I think about it. But yeah, they did a 20th anniversary little G.I. Joe 2-pack with Scarlet and Snake Eyes. Like, they do that kind of stuff. When you have these big brands that you could celebrate and you're a company that's been around for almost 100 years, you want to do that kind of stuff. And it's always good because when you go to do San Diego Comic-Con, you could celebrate it and do panels about it and have beautiful displays. When you go to New York Toy Fair, you do the same thing and you make people interested. That's the way I see it. James Hobskin, Proto Man, what is for dinner? My wife made an amazing, she takes beef wrap, kind of like almost like fondue wraps, and then she makes a Vietnamese sauce mix, and then she puts enoki mushrooms, which are very thin mushrooms, through it, and then she cooks it in olive oil with the sauce and everything, and then she takes fresh white rice, puts it all on top of that, a little bit of green onions, amazing. So we had that today. That's what we had. Tomorrow, I do not know. We're probably just going to be staying in, and then I got to plan on fixing a heat shield for a Toyota for a friend of mine on Monday. So now tomorrow for sure, I got to get a giant washer for that heat shield for his muffler. It's shaking like crazy. It's hitting every time. So that's what happens. Rust-proof your car, people. He didn't rust-proof his car. That wouldn't have happened. But yeah. So that's all I'm going to probably be doing tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to have tomorrow. I'll see. Beast Wars, the Beast that was 20th anniversary Convoy. Yeah, well, that one too. 20th anniversary Optimus Prime. Go check out that Toy Armada segment talking about the history of creating that one. But yeah, there's all kinds of there's for sure. But again, next year it's going to be Michael Bay movie. You could argue little things here and there too that came out in 2007, but that's definitely the big one that will be the focus. And then look, after that, 2008, Transformers Animated. For sure, Animated will get more love then. In 2008, because that's when I literally remember BotCon 2008. The same weekend of BotCon 2008 was when the first reports of Transformers Animated product was hitting on all the message boards. Like, oh, I found Prowl, I found Bumblebee, and Prowl came with the little stoplight, piece weapon. So good times. What BotCon was that? I think that was Cincinnati, 2008. Oh, I got to look at my box sets. Oh, man, I can't see it because it's all the way at the bottom because it was 08. I want to say that was Cincinnati. That was the Shattered Glass year. Yeah. But yeah, Tom Laney, thanks again for another great stream, Proto. Thank you. Oh, and we are at the 2-hour mark, though. Thank you, Tom Laney. We are at the 2-hour mark again. Thank you all for the love and support, everyone. Tune into the podcast. We peaked out at like 100 and something people. Again, as always, it's great to have you guys in here. And then the people who hang around just to have the rambling and the talking, you know. Good stuff. Good stuff as always. Again, thanks for all the love and support. If you want to continue supporting the podcast, come join the Patreon. Patreon link is not in this video. It'll probably be in the repeat of this video. It'll be in the description. But if you go check out any of the other segments, we have a link to our Patreon. You can come join us there. It gives you access to the Discord, have your name in the end credit scroll. If Patreon is not your thing, all these beautiful green names that have been asking questions today, that's the YouTube membership. There's a YouTube membership button down there. You could come join that if that's your jam. Aside from that, that's it more or less for this weekend. I'm going to go upstairs, open up a whole bunch of boxes of these. I just showed you how to open one on the down low, but I'm going to open up a bunch of these. I'll probably open them tomorrow because it's going to make a lot of trash. So I'm going to, because Monday is when we pick up trash in my area. So either way, anyways, thanks for all the love and support, everyone. Once again, take care of yourself, your friends, your family, and your loved ones. The world is not a crazy place as people think it is. Ignore the insanity and the drama that you see from so many other content creators and all the hate and all the, oh, this sucks and that sucks and everything. Just enjoy what's good in life. Life is short, so make the best of it. Travel, hang out with friends, have a good time. That stuff is way more valuable than spending 5 seconds on the negativity that exists in this world. I'm out of here. I'll talk to you next week. Again, Transformer Tuesday on June. A whole bunch of reveals. Stay tuned for that. So go check out Hasbro Pulse. Subscribe to their channel. Go buy yourself something from Symbiote Studios. And if you're bored and you're tired of hearing my voice, you could hear my voice, but with Aaron's salty voice. Get yourself some Aaron Archer voice in your life. Giggity. On the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer, I'm out of here. And as always, roll out.